Today, Kenya is hosting the Africa-French Summit 2026. This summit is represented as a renewed partnership between Africa and French. A partnership based on investment, security, cooperation, trade, and development. But as someone born in Kenya, I believe an important question must be asked. Is this truly a renewed partnership? Or is France simply searching for new influence, new strategic allies, and new access to African resources after losing powerful parts in West Africa? In global studies, we learn that history continues to shape modern global relationship, and nowhere is this more visible than in Africa. French once controlled large parts of West Africa and Central Africa through colonial rule. Countries like Mali, Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, and Senegal are just a few of the examples of French colonialism. These countries still remain politically and economically connected to the France long after independence. Colonial system extracted African labor, African gold, African uranium, African land, and African resources, while millions of Africans remained poor under foreign control. Many Africans believed their countries remained politically independent, but economically and militarily dependent to other countries. And today, as France loses influence in West Africa, many Africans are asking whether France is now turning towards East Africa. Recently, Kenya signed a new defense and maritime cooperation agreement with France. These agreements are represented as partnership for regional security and development because sovereignty means the ability of a nation to govern itself independently without outside control. Is Kenya really being sovereign by signing this security and defense cooperation pact? Today, opposition to French influence is no longer just an academic discussion. Across parts of West Africa, protests have erupted as citizens demand greater sovereignty and an end to what many see as modern neocolonialism control. I want to briefly show you a short clip. As you have seen, these protests are not simply about France alone. They reflect a much larger global issue: who controls resources, security, and economic power in developing nations. Recently, Kenya identified hundreds of mineral deposits across the country, including rare earth minerals, lithium, titanium, graphite, and gold. These minerals are strategically important for electric vehicle batteries, artificial intelligence, military, technology, and global industry. And in today's world, major global powers compete heavily for strategic resources. So, when France speaks about renewed partnership, many Africans naturally ask, is it truly partnership or geopolitical competition for influence and resources? This connects directly to another major concept from our course. Globalization increases interdependence, but it can also create unequal power relationships between stronger and weaker nations. As we can see from this timeline, it all started with colonialism, independence, neocolonialism, and now global competition. In class, we also learned that power is increasingly shifting beyond governments towards corporations, institutions, military alliances, and global financial systems. Modern colonialism does not always arrive through conquest. Sometimes it arrives through military agreements, currency, debt, foreign investments, multinational cooperation, and economic dependency. Now, to be fair, supporters of this partnership argue that they provide security, investment, trade, and development opportunities. And Africa absolutely needs international cooperation. But cooperation should never mean immunity without accountability. It should not mean investment without transparency. It does not mean partnership without sovereignty. As someone born in Kenya, I believe Africa should work with the world, but Africa should work with the world as equal partners, not as a source of extraction. Young Africans today are becoming more aware of history, globalization, and geopolitical power. They are demanding transparency, accountability, and true sovereignty, because the real question in the 21st century is no longer whether colonialism exists. The real question is this: has colonialism simply changed its form? Thank you.